Cześć, witam Cię bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku ze Starfielda. Zostaw kciuka, subskrypcję, dzwoneczek. Kontynuujemy. Robimy sobie dzisiaj questa, który jest frakcyjny. Piętro kierownicze, lobby członków zarządu 1 na 7 za wewnętrznym neuroaplikatorem na jedna osoba, no tak, 0 na nie, za Infinity Ltd. Jest 1 na tak i 0 na nie. Okej, czas rozpocząć lobbowanie wśród członków zarządu. Masako zagłosuje za pozyskaniem Infinity Ltd. I twierdzi, że potrzebuje co najmniej połowy głosów, aby zapewnić sobie sukces. Jeśli nie podoba mi się pomysł wewnętrznego neuroaplikatora, mam teraz okazję na wstrzymanie dalszych nad nim badań. No nie podoba nam się to, bo to jest w sumie rzecz, która pozwala nam kontrolować kogoś, tak? A byłoby spoko, gdybyśmy tylko my mieli tę umiejętność. No dobrze, zacznijmy sobie od rozmowy z... Zamknij pysk, bo ci przypierdolę. Dobra, idźmy najpierw pogadać tutaj. Mamy tą typiarę.
Did Masako send you to try and convince me to acquire Infinity Ltd? I think we both know that's not going to work. See? Even a mere operative like you can see the right thing to do. The internal neuroamp gives us the power to crush our competitors, not take them under our wing. This is exactly why Masako's time as CEO is finished. Oh? Your response tells me Masako must have given you similar advice. It'd be unlike her to not fully exploit an advantage. Especially when she believes acquiring Infinity is the right thing to do. I'm glad you see it that way. Now to get the rest of the board to agree with you. As long as everyone has Ryujin's best interests in mind, this should make for an interesting meeting. You and me both. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a lot of preparations to make.
Dobra, bo chyba coś tu nie tak robię. Czas rozpocząć wśród członków Masako zagłosuje za uzyskaniem Infinity i twierdzi, że potrzebuje co najmniej połowy głosów, aby zapewnić, jeśli nie podoba mi się pomysł wewnętrznego, mam teraz okazję na wstrzymanie dalszych nad nim badań. Czyli jedno i drugie by było na nie według mnie. Więc tutaj troszeczkę zjebaliśmy, jeśli chodzi o rozmowę z nią. Miejmy nadzieję, że da się to jeszcze przegłosować, żeby wszyscy byli na nie. I w jednej kwestii, i w drugiej. Dobra, gdzie jest kolejna osoba?
If only there were more hours in the day. Great, the bane of my department. If you need something, make it quick. You heard correct. I've every reason to believe that Infinity Ltd. Is the Pandora's box of corporations. I mean, I could handle it as well as any other high-profile situation. But the real question is, do I want to? And the answer to that is no. Nice to know someone is. Everyone's too busy praising its completion to think about the dangers it could represent. First off, if I find out you used that device on me, I will tie you up in court on whatever charges I can conjure for the rest of your life. Second, that tech is one major human rights violation that no legal team wants to fight. I'll do whatever I can to make sure it's either severely delayed or collects dust in storage. Well, I'm both glad and surprised to hear the one person who has one say that. Masako's lucky to have you at her disposal, even if you are a continual thorn in my side. You may be the greatest asset, aside from the internal neuroamp, that Ryujin has. This exchange has been surprisingly insightful, but now I really do need to get back to my notes.
No dobra. Czyli mamy tutaj 2-1 i tu mamy 1-2. Druga opcja jest w porządku. Dalton też będzie po naszej stronie, moim zdaniem.
This meeting should prove to be very interesting. I assume Masako briefed you on her preferred outcome. Good on you.
Indeed. That technology shouldn't be used for such nefarious purposes, or in fact, any purposes at all.
If it were up to me, I'd have shut down Project Dominion a long time ago. I knew it was a grave security risk, and look what happened. You read my mind. Let's just hope Masako and the others see it that way. Plus, if we vote to acquire Infinity Ltd., we're about to add a significant workload onto my team. The last thing I want to deal with are any more incidents this new neuroamp might cause. I hate to agree, but you're right. And I'm sure Masako will understand my reasoning. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some preparations to make. We'll be announcing Ularu's termination of employment at this meeting, so I need to have security ready to escort her off the premises.
Pięknie. 2-2, 1-3. Dały nam 3 osoby do pogadania. Więc idźmy do kolejnej.
It's good to see you again. And how's my favorite patient doing? Not seeing any temporal memory flashes or losing time, I hope. Reminds me of my undergrad days. I mean, I assume you're joking, right? I'll have to get that documented and we'll definitely want to run a few tests if not. So, tell me what you think of the neuroamp. I hope you're not actually suggesting that the technology I spent years working on and perfecting never sees the light of day. This is groundbreaking work. My life's work. Fine, fine. Make your case. I know there are downsides, but that's why we have an amazing legal team. We'll get it figured out. You really think they could come after me? I can actually see how bad that could get. Well, this conversation's made me feel like a proper monster. But you're right. In a perfect world, tech like this is used for good. But this world is far from perfect. It is. It really is. For years, my only focus has been, is this possible? And then, how do I make it work? I never stopped to consider if it was right, or what it would mean. I guess it'll be up to a vote either way. It's not on the meeting agenda, so I assume you'll bring it up yourself? We just have to hope the others will see reason. So the next question is, what will the fate of Infinity Ltd. be? Wow, you're no fun. I guess there's no point in examining their failures. Besides, I don't want any of their research to steer me in a bad direction. Well, this has certainly been the most interesting conversation of my day. All we can do now is look forward to the meeting, right? See you in there.
No dobra, jest git. 2 na 3, 1 na 4. Bardzo, bardzo dobrze idzie. Pogadajmy z... Tylko nie rozumiem, czemu Sara zakupieniem tego pierdolnika jest na nie. To jest ciekawe w sumie. Znaczy jest no tak, w sensie, żeby kupić.
Interesting today. Just the person I wanted to see. I want to get all the details locked down for this meeting, and I believe you to be one of the best sources available. An efficient exchange, then. You've had the chance to encounter members of Infinity Ltd. Throughout your assignments here. Do you think they're worth redemption? And why? Your statement confirms my suspicions. As much as Genevieve believes the public perception would boost overall sales, there's no way to know the repercussions of their financials. Next question. What is your opinion on how Masako handled the mole situation? Expand on that, if you can.
W złą stronę to poprowadziłem.
An excellent point. Why react and repair when you can prevent a situation altogether? I appreciate the insight. I suppose I should ask if there's anything I can do for you, considering how helpful you've been. It's only dangerous to those who can't afford one. Hence the added motivation that will bolster sales. I think we all know how averse I am to chaos. Finances are my forte, so you make a good point. Our competition has yet to truly master neuroamps, but the possibility is there. It's a risk I am unwilling to take. At this time. This has been rather enlightening for me. I appreciate the time.
Ej no, 2 na 4 i 1 na 5 wyszło. Czyli jest git. Nie wiem, czemu Sara nie popiera tego... Nie wiem, czy nie robi błędu, przekonując, żeby tego nie kupować, ze względu na Daltona nie robi błędu. Mam nadzieję, że nie.
Checking up on me to make sure I'm on her side. Well, you can let Masako know to rest easy. It just so happens that her agenda lines up with mine. We just need to grab Infinity Ltd. While it's got the public's full attention. I'm all about free PR, especially when it's painting us in a good light. Infinity is that sad company in distress with thousands of employees terrified of their futures right now. We are the warm embrace of security coming to rescue them. The only downsides are the
No więc
unknowns.
właśnie, tu zrobiliśmy
London and
błąd.
Alexis
Powinniśmy
are
ich
gonna have a lot on their
odkupić.
hands.
Ale ja już teraz tego
Not
nie
that I'm
cofnę, bo
getting
bym
off
musiał
easy.
pół gry cofnąć znowu.
Whatever they find, if it hits the public,
Byśmy
that's
musieli
gonna
przeprowadzić
fall
te
on my
dialogi
shoulders
po raz kolejny, a nie chcę tego robić.
I'm sure I can squeeze enough goodwill out of this to last us at least a year. Well, you have my attention. The possible backlash on tech like this is not lost on me. However, the internal neuroamp will define the next era of tech, with Ryujin at the forefront. It's not an opportunity you just walk away from. You're right. The moment you violate your customers' trust, there's a good chance they'll never come back. Even worse, you push them into the hands of your competitors. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative. Good talk. Maybe I'll even consult you on future endeavors.
Czy ja jestem jeszcze w stanie pogadać z tymi ludźmi? Nie jestem. Boję się, że zjebałem, nie kupując tego gówna. O, no boję się o to, że to właśnie nie wyjdzie tak jak powinno. To, że tego nie będziemy tych badań prowadzić jest spoko, ale gorzej z tym, że tego nie kupimy chyba. Zresztą zaraz zobaczymy i się przekonamy, jak to wyjdzie. Chuj, najwyżej wczytamy cały odcinek, nie?
All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
My stance on this is obvious. It's a classic rescue and rehabilitation story. We announce our intentions, and the media outlets will eat it up.
Arguments?
There's pretty much no technological benefit here. We've always been ahead of Infinity Ltd.
We should be crushing our competition, not rescuing them from their own flaws. This is a weak decision, Masako, and you know it. In fact, I move that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired. Security will hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
All against?
Nay.
Acquiring Infinity Ltd could have brought significant growth and increased our public perception. I won't argue with the board's decision, but the long-term benefits far outweigh the short-term issues, and benefiting Ryujin is our top priority. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? The internal neuroamp is a key component of Ryujin Industries' success for the next 10 years, if not more. Why would we shelve it after we've finally perfected it?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but she's right. Regardless of the pros, the cons are too morally and ethically irresponsible to move forward with.
The moment the public gets wind of the true capabilities of this tech, we're gonna suffer severe backlash.
Very well. All in favor of shelving Project Dominion?
Aye. Nay.
Vina, prep Project Dominion for storage. Any other matters to bring forth? None? This concludes our order of business for today.
Tak, patrząc teraz z
So much
biznesowego
work to do.
punktu, rozjebałem właśnie tą firmę w pizdu, nie? Ani nie kurwa nie odkupili tamtych, ani nie mają projektu, którym chcieli się zająć, nie? Jest totalny rozpierdol teraz tutaj, nie? Jedyne co to tylko tą typiarę ogarnęliśmy.
Well, not the decisions I had in mind, but it's quite clear where you stand. A fine point, but it still proves its usefulness. The truth remains, Lucas Drexler learned a hard lesson, and we exposed a traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin. It's well earned and deserved. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time.
Yes, I'm proud of you as well. Ularu needed to be brought down. If you wouldn't have stopped her, who knows what she would have done next.
Not often, and certainly not to this degree. We have the occasional employee consider selling information, but thanks to our security and operations teams, we always catch them before any damage can be done. This was the first time anyone from either department was involved. I hope that enthusiasm sticks with you for the foreseeable future. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it. As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
There's something I need
Mogło trochę więcej expa mi dać to.
Handling those tricky decisions regarding Ryujin must have been difficult. In fact, I'm amazed you were able to deal with them at all. Those types of corporations remind me why I never ventured into business. I can't stand that way of life. No, I suppose they aren't. That's why I'm happy you were around to step in and place Ryujin on the right path. After all, based on your recommendation, they've ceased their work on that disturbing neuroamp technology. Why wouldn't I be pleased about your decision? Can you imagine if that technology had fallen into the wrong hands? The awful things you could force people to do. Oh, it's terribly frightening. Yes, quite. Well, I've certainly taken up enough of your time. Thanks for letting me get that off my mind.
No problemu. No dobra. Stało nam we frakcyjnych to, w głównych to. Trzeba się zająć też innymi questami. Niedługo też będziemy musieli zacząć sobie powoli eksplorować wszystkie układy. które się znajdują tutaj w tej okolicy. Idziemy sobie od lewego górnego rogu jakoś tam powoli. Jest level. Ale to na razie jeszcze zostawiamy. Objawienie frakcyjne różne. Misje. Dobra, no wzięło mi się porozmawiaj. To pójdźmy porozmawiać w takim razie. Do loży. Okej. Mamy jeszcze parę minut. Może akurat wyrobimy się z tą rozmową w tym odcinku. Jak nie, to będziemy gadać sobie w kolejnym.
Were you eating at the Sage Brook, or is it just a quick snap from the territory?
Nie wiem.
Look at this place. It's just as we left it. You know,
Dobra, pójdźmy jeszcze tak, tutaj. Zobaczmy, czy są jakieś tablice misji. Nazwa misji nie ma, wszystkie są wzięte, ok. Problem jest taki, że fajnie by było, jakby te wszystkie misje można było tu zebrać, stąd, nie? Wszystkie misje, które są dostępne na całym wszechświecie, nie? Musimy pogadać, ale jeszcze z racji tego, że też idę w tą stronę, to sobie podejdę tutaj. Zobaczę, czy coś mogę wrzucić z ekwipunku. Niezbyt. To serce Marsa może wrzućmy, bo mi jest niepotrzebne aktualnie. Dobra. Trochę mi się udźwig zwiększył. A, i właśnie, bo mamy 266. Mantis, Mantis i Mantis. Czemu mam 266? Ja, w ogóle tu jest 19. Ciach. Nie mogę hełm magenta nosić przy okazji, który nic nie daje. Nie wiem, czemu jest 266 wykrycia zamiast 300. Znaczy, Boże, udźwigu. Zamiast 300.
hello.
Cześć, nie kładź się teraz, bo potrzebuję pogadać. Dawaj, kurwa. Też nie masz kiedy się kłaść, jak przyszedłem pogadać.
I suppose now you can add climbing the corporate ladder to your list of accomplishments. I think it is perhaps for the best that the research program will come to an end. Where that neuroamp technology could lead, there are many bad outcomes. Too many. Already there has been too much conflict between corporations vying for this technology. First Infinity, then Ryujin. Who knows what might be next? That is certainly a possibility. The wrong goal, or the right goal approached by the wrong methods. And yes, disaster is a good word for it. The project will be shelved, they call it? As I said, too many other bad outcomes. This is for the best. With the neuroamp matter settled, we should move on to other things, yes?
No dobra, pogadane. Misja się zaktualizowała, właściwie chyba już się skończyła. Teraz sobie pójdziemy porozmawiać z Imogen, ale to już w kolejnym odcinku. Na teraz to tyle. Dzięki serdeczne za oglądanie. Zostaw kciuka, subskrypcję, dzwoneczek, wbiję do linku w opisie i miłego popołudnia. Cześć!